I need to be nice to myself. Yeah. Like, I need to start, like, I'm gonna quit that shit.
But you know it's not really nice to yourself? It's honest. Oh. You need to be honest with yourself because if you fool yourself into thinking that you need to be nice to yourself, you're gonna be nice to yourself all the time. You're gonna overlook all the reality. If you tell yourself that you're gonna be honest with yourself, then you can compliment yourself on exactly what you are, how you're doing, and then realize that, oh, maybe I'm not so good right now, or maybe I didn't do that well, and whatever, and then move on from there. I used to fake positivity. Hello everyone! Welcome back to the motherfucking #1 comedy podcast about mental health.
Yep.
Welcome back to the space where we all have mental illness and are working towards mental chillness. I don't think you said we are your fairy buff mother in like the last 3 videos.
I haven't. Oh my god, we are your hosts. I'm Jules.
Can you stand up, flex them quads? You're very fucking.
My name is Jules Montañez, and we are your fairy leg mothers. Alrighty. And what about you?
Dude, okay. If you are on YouTube, you see our fabulous fucking guests, but if you're just listening on the audio, remember that we do have full video content now, so you can check us out on YouTube. The channel is Mental Chillness. Like, rate, subscribe, share that shit so that you can actually find the channel because it's so small right now that people like struggle to actually look for it.
Mental illness.
But today, everyone, we have a returning guest. We have the Don in the house, and you can finally see him. He looks so fucking good, yo.
Amazing, like here for all of it.
I know.
Stop this. It's Sunday. I was trying to like bring a little.
That's why the hat's on.
Look good, feel good.
For sure. I love the gold. You are killing it.
Thanks. You guys look great also. I need my leg game up like yours.
Yeah, no.
My claws are terrible, but I have big calves.
It's the calves that matter. I got no calves. Got everything else. I look at you like a literal like turkey fucking like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I be flexing, but you don't see my calves.
Yeah. One thing I want to say though, note to guys, if your upper body is buff and your lower body is chicken legs, what are you doing? Come on, my heart hurts.
You will tip over, okay? One of these days, you will tip over.
You will. You're gonna be like,
exactly. But if you remember, Don is someone that we met last year and connected with, and really like we built such a like awesome like little relationship. And now that we are doing like YouTube, we just kind of wanted to bring back like, you know, guests that either A, want to come back or, you know, make an appearance, or that we just would love to have another conversation with again. And that's you.
I couldn't wait. So thank you for having me. We didn't get a dress rehearsal involved before this, so am I talking to the camera the whole time, or am I talking to you guys?
We're doing
everything comfortable with.
No, so because you're sitting in the middle, the camera just sees you, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. I'm the only one that has to like be like, hey, you're more than my side profile. Okay. Yeah. But you're good.
Like,
whatever.
Hey guys, how's everybody?
How's everybody doing? How are we feeling?
Okay, so we're good. So if I just happen to log eyes with the camera, I can do that for effect if I want to.
Yeah.
Just something deep and then
something dramatic. Speak to the people, you know?
I got you.
You know?
I got you.
Exactly.
You are so funny.
I know.
I'm obsessed.
I know. Carmen?
A leopard dog. Why don't I have one?
Dude, you should. You should.
It's my thing.
It's so, like, he's like a...
You're literally matching him right now.
Can everybody, like, mentally send good, keeping carbon energy to me? Because I'm in the middle of a custody battle. And it's not even a battle.
Not even a custody battle.
Like, it's not even a battle. I basically fucking adopted this dog, but the owner just won't let me keep him.
Oh, were you like sitting for a little bit?
For 6 months.
Oh, it's your dog.
That's literally what everybody said. At first, I was like,
"Are you making out?"
Come on.
I know he's all about the snuggles.
He's so sweet.
All about the fucking snuggles, man. I didn't know that I could be so fucking soft until like I had this dog.
Yeah.
Dogs break you down. They'll break you down.
That's scary. Isn't it weird? But cats do the exact opposite.
Cats pick and choose.
Cats fucking bring your guards up, okay?
As people with trust issues can't have cats.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
They flip on you like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, mate.
They're sweet sometimes and they're just like...
Quick. They're like, actually, I don't like you today. Or one day I was holding a cat and they were like, yeah, he's just doing, what is that when their paws just, I don't know. And they were like, that means he likes you. And I was like, it hurts. And the cat's just there like going in and out with his paw. I don't know. Someone will know. Comment.
You know what's wild? I have a cat phobia.
Yeah.
And like, I think I'm a cat. Like, if you watch me.
You have like cat like.
Yeah. Like, I think that like. But that's why, okay, so you know how like generational trauma shit, right? I think about this shit all the time. I have zero evidence of why I'm scared of cats, but my mom doesn't like them. And my mom, when she was little, she used to work in the jungle since she was like fucking like 7. So she would like walk through jungles at nighttime and throughout the entire day to like get back and forth to places to sell things and whatever, but all you could do is like walk and pray. She literally told me all she does is like pray, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, I think that somewhere deep down through all the way back to that shit, and like even before, because we were like in Vietnam and shit, I'm like, something must have happened to where now I feel this way.
Yeah.
Like to where I like carry
your
on.
DNA.
Yeah, because I don't have any fucking evidence of why I'm scared of cats.
Yeah.
And like it's like literal terrified. Like when I walk Carbon and he's sniffing and I know that like a cat is sitting there, bro, I jump like and I will literally like drag him all the way around.
It's not for you, it's for me.
No, literally. I'm like I never ever like tug him away unless I know he's going towards a cat.
Yeah.
And like it's I don't know why either. But then I'm like, I am a cat.
Yeah, you are.
Like the way that I am, even when you're like when they're clawing you and they say that they like you, but you say it's hurt.
That is you. That just got so deep.
I know. That's why
she's like, I like you. I promise you. I really do. Like, you're literally my number one person in my life.
But there's like, I don't think that I know soft love. I don't think that I know soft love unless it's shown to me.
Yeah.
If not, it's all tough love. Like, I have a friend, he was actually on here, two for two.
Oh,
he is the softest fucking, like, person ever, and, like, he was, like, one of the first people where he was just sitting here, I was just talking to him, and I started immediately breaking down, and he was just, like, holding me. And no one really does that, because I don't let people, like, touch me and stuff, and then I realized, like, see, like, I can be soft. But when it's soft to me, like, when it's shown to me, if it's not, like, Jules, no, bro, all love, but the way that I go about it is like so serious and whatever, and I don't know how else to be. It's weird. But then I never thought about soft love before.
And then Khan's literally there like and I'm here for it.
Like fucking following you. Like,
so how are we feeling, guys? Are we mentally ill or are we mentally chill? Let's start with you, Don. How are you feeling?
I am mentally chill today.
Ooh.
I am.
And the emphasis is today. Because every day is different.
Every day is different.
There we go.
Crazy couple of months, but great couple of months as well. Like I just realized a lot of things. November was like the month of just like eye-opening revelations, but like more than like little things like, oh, this makes it like big major things, huge conversations, huge family things, huge friend things, like life-altering things, like physical things, like it's just been a lot. So that's why I think it was more so, I'm like in a place now where I'm like, oh, that wasn't too bad. But when it's like one thing after the next, it's like so draining.
You know what's so crazy? Remember last time we did the whole trust issue episode, and me and you throughout the entire episode was like, are we the same fucking person?
Yes.
You know why I sent you this outline, and you know why I specifically planned this outline for you? I felt that shit. I don't
She says
ever.
She's like, we're having Dawn on.
I don't have a process. I don't have a process of like planning outlines, picking what I'm gonna talk about, blah blah blah. It all comes to me. Like I literally like sometimes I send you outlines at like 1 in the morning the day before, and it's because that's when it came to me.
Yeah.
And so like I always try to base off of what is going on like right now. And like it's wild that you just said you went through all that shit because I literally have had so many come to Jesus fucking moments within the past like fucking like 2-3 months. It's like I'm literally drowning right now.
Yeah.
You know? But like in the weirdest way, the best I've ever felt about myself. The most strongest, the most trusting, the most like I'm in my shit, even though there's so much shit going on. I know that it feels bad, but I'm here for it. I'm not even smoking weed right now.
Woo! She hasn't slept.
I really have not. All I've done is cry and then take a nap and then wake back up. That's it. There's like no, and the reason why it's not by choice either, bro. I'm broke as shit.
Yeah.
And like, if I have to sacrifice weed when I'm broke, you know I'm broke.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I will never, like, you know how people are like, cut out your Starbucks and blah 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 blah. I'm like, no bitch, I will cut out Starbucks for my weed. Like, that's how I'm gonna budget myself.
When I'm sitting and looking at like, okay, it's groceries, but it's like, I also
This is real street.
It's like, it's the age for me. So
Yes!
I'll figure that shit out. I'm gonna
I'll go to my mom's house. Like,
yeah, like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what's
which is so
so
crazy.
So I didn't have any weed, and my coworker gave me some edibles for watching her dog.
Yeah.
I ate 5 and none of it worked.
No.
Oh my God.
Nothing worked.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
I know.
Yeah.
Like I
Such a
literally,
letdown.
you know what's crazy? I literally went into it before I ate it. I was like, I don't care if this makes me too high and unfunctionable.
Yeah.
Get me high.
But
Yeah.
And it just did
You
not.
wanna be slow.
I know. It literally just did not.
For me, I've actually been smoking less. But it's
Oh,
because
bro.
I know. It's because I don't know. I feel like I'm so happy to hear all about like your come to Jesus moments. I have been definitely feeling the same, but emotionally, financially, I feel like I'm at the best place that I've been in a long time. So that's super exciting, and I'm so proud of myself for that. But emotionally, I feel like I've had so many tests and trials and tribulations in this past few months. That's like, are you just gonna flip? Like, come on, like, let's just like, I just want to hear you scream. I just want to hear you scream. And it's more anger rather than sadness and wanting to cry. It's more like, get mad. Why isn't she getting mad? I don't understand.
How dare you be happy?
Exactly. So it's like, I feel like the more I just
like,
try to
that's
stay.
like, why are you
No, literally, and then I
Who do you
question
think you
myself.
are?
But I have to be like, no, bitch, you're not a coward anymore. We don't do all that old shit. So I'm so glad to hear you guys overcoming things, but I feel like everyone is going through like that weird transition of like, at least emotionally, every time I talk to any of my friends, they're like, yeah, I don't really want to talk. I'm like, I understand completely. Like, I feel like everyone has just been, these last few months are just like hard and just, life is lifing.
Life is lifing for sure.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. It's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I feel like I definitely relate to that. But what I was saying, how earlier it makes me feel like a little more, way more hopeful this year than I normally am. Seasonal depression is a thing.
Oh, sure.
And I always
She's
try
back.
to act
She's
like
back.
it's not a thing for me because I don't like to subscribe to like worldly stuff. It's like, oh, what's seasonal? It's like, oh, now we're all gonna act depressed because that's a thing to do. And it's like, no, but I am always depressed. And
For sure.
I was depressed, period. But like the season,
Girl, it makes
I didn't
it
realize
worse.
how bad it was. Yeah.
Same, this year, it hit. I was like, okay, I've always known I have seasonal depression, but like, this is like heavy season.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She's like,
extra.
it's thick now.
I was able to, I have a running start on it in a weird way this time where it was like, it's still hitting, but it's like, it doesn't feel so hopeless. Like, this is the first year it's ever felt like, I don't feel like just lost in the abyss.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I'm down. Oh, it's the
it's
depression
supposed to
thing.
happen.
Okay, I'll get through this. As opposed to like going into it and it blindsiding me and I'm
Yeah.
just like, until January,
Yeah.
February, damn near March. Sometimes April, my birthday. Sometimes it lasts all the way up until like the summertime. Like,
Yeah.
if I like give all the way in. So now I'm letting it wash over. It's not the easiest thing. I still have my days. Like today's a great day. 2 days ago was not. You know.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
It is, dude. It's you know what's so crazy too? I did a session with my therapist, and this is my previous depressive episode. And in that one, I told my therapist like, dude, it's like so weird, but it's almost like I know how to function better when I'm sad. Like it's so weird, but it's almost like I know how to navigate through feeling sad because I've been in it for so long, through so many different changes and types of sadness and whatever, that it's almost like I'm comfortable in sadness. It's so weird. And then when this depressive episode hit me, not that I was blindsided, but it was more so like I had to really truly remind myself that like, bitch, just because you got over one thing don't mean that it's gonna stop. So it's kind of like just because I was like saying like I feel like I live comfortably in sadness and that I can function, I then kind of locked myself into a mindset of like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Like you are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do that, you're fine. And then things started just happening, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought we were done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh. But then like this time, exactly what you said, I'm like, it's so fucking weird, but like it feels so bad, but there's no other way to do it besides go through it. Like there's no, and I think that's why this time it's a lot easier for me to just be like, okay, bitch, you're not gonna sleep because you're not smoking, but you're not gonna smoke because, like, for me, the usual thing is like I smoke and I do whatever else I want after when I'm high.
Yeah.
I can't get high, I can't get distracted, I gotta just feel that shit. I gotta have 7 panic attacks in a day.
Yeah.
And it's cool, you know? Not like it's cool. But
yeah,
like,
but it literally happens. I feel like for me, I like, and it's gonna sound crazy when I say it out loud, I'm not manic, I promise. I like being sad when I'm alone. And it's not that I'm sad or anything, but I like to listen to my Sam Smith. I like to like get into the whole zone because I feel like throughout the whole day, everybody sees me as like this funny and outgoing and good person that like I feel like when I'm alone and by myself, it's not that I'm sad.
maybe it's how you recharge.
That's literally how I reset. It's me like almost taking all those feelings by myself and just sitting in them, and it's never a bad thing. Like sometimes my mom will walk in and be like, are you crying? Are you okay? Do you want to talk? But that's literally just how like I reset. Like I know that good cry, 30 minutes later I'll be like, damn, I feel so much better. So it's just like I give so much throughout the day with this positive attitude and making everybody laugh and being so like funny and happy, but I feel like sometimes being just sitting in the shit is just so healthy too. Like being sad is a good emotion.
It is.
Be grateful that you can feel.
Exactly.
I feel like I am like landing smack in the middle of what you just said. I relate to that so much. I was gonna say that is really healthy. Because me and my therapist talked about that, and he got me on this thing of just like, it's almost just like when I'm blowing a soup, you just let a little bit of air out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have like a whole playlist that I use to like incite tears.
Yeah.
Where like a good part, like it's, I mean, and I have another playlist like the emojis of sunshine, and it's just like the ridiculously like positive songs, like real cheesy like parody type songs, things that are going to make me laugh or smile or something. Where I'm just like, I gotta pull it together just for 5 minutes. But it's like getting those out each way because I am very comfortable being sad all the time because I think that's my default thing, and I think it's then I start saying like, oh, everything's fine, everything's good. That's almost a dangerous thing to say because it's like you should want to get past that point. I feel like there's so many people in my life that just like that person's not sad all the time. Like I think I'm just so used to being sad and then turning on the happy for everybody else. But it's like when am I ever by myself and I'm just like, oh, I'm so happy right now. Like I'm, you know what I mean? It's like I'm never like that.
I get a glimpse of it.
Little glimpses of it, and I can create happiness, but it's like, I think it's more so just being comfortable in my little dark, you know what I mean? Because when I'm laying there, I'm letting myself overthink, I'm thinking about awful things. Like, I choose to think those thoughts almost. Like, you know what I mean? They're coming, but I feel like...
But you're not stopping them.
I'm not stopping them, so it's like a comfortable sadness thing. But when I get real far gone, or if I have to, you know, turn the down beat thing on and show up to an event and I'm real low, the way I can do that is by getting it out, whatever it is. If I need to cry real quick, I'll go to the car. I've left work when I was working at the mall. I will go to my car and cry for like 10 minutes if I needed to. If I need to get, you know what I mean, or if I need to laugh or something, I just need to bring my energy up. I can control it that way. So because I can do that, I know that I'm choosing the other part. But at the same time, I don't want any of that. Niggas want to be happy.
Exactly. Kind of like
crazy.
Free from yourself.
Yeah.
Because you are the only. But then again, it's like, bro, like, who else is gonna be there with you besides you?
Yourself.
I think that's the work is getting to the point where you are not comfortable in the sadness, like trying to be the happiest. You're not always gonna be happy, but yeah, I don't think it should be so hard to find. Like,
Dude, no.
Like, why can't I just smile today? Like,
sometimes the guys will come in so excited. Shout out to IDF, they'll come in and they're always just so they're like my light. They bring me up all the time. And I feel like, oh my gosh, if I didn't talk to them, like I would just be laying here all day.
That's how I feel about Jules.
That's how important connection is.
That's literally, you know how you like you know how you were like, well, every like certain amount of time you guys get together, have a whole meeting, spill it out, whatever. We don't have like a set up like scheduled time. I literally just like, dude, last night I was like in this fucking hole, right? I was literally just in a hole. Like I came home, not smoked, nothing, just sat in my room and cried for like 2 hours. And then I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And then I just texted Jules. And I was like, hey, can you come over early tomorrow? Like, I need to talk to you. I need help. I literally told her, like, I need help. And like, I realized that like, that's exactly it. It's almost like I'm so in my fucking head all the time, that like, when I bring something up to her, I realize that it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything, I just keep realizing it's me. Everything that I try to control, everything that I try to like keep in, like whatever, thinking that the world won't take me, so I can't. But then the world does show me different, and then I'm like, oh, it's literally been me the whole time. Like, it's not them telling you that you can't do it, it's you telling you that you can't do it.
And all it takes is that connection. You just take 2 seconds and connect with somebody, and then you can zoom out all of a sudden and see, oh, that's what I was doing this whole time. But when you're in it by yourself, it's like you crave being by yourself.
Yes.
And it feels like this is too much to put on somebody, but it's like you don't put it on anybody. You just have to just connecting with somebody pulls you out of it just enough to look back and be like, okay, I'm being really crazy right now.
Like, you don't have to do a full dump.
Yeah.
Like, you can be transparent with where you're at so that you feel like I literally kept telling her, like, dude, I said something last night that I did not ever realize that that's like the true, like, what the fuck was going on with me. But I told her, it is so fucking scary for me to think that it's possible that anyone's got me beside myself. And that's why I hold everything in, and that's why I cannot ask for help, and that's why I have so much issues, like, just looking for, like, the light. Because, like, all of my life, I've never been able to, like, truly be myself. My parents have always kind of questioned me and steered me into the direction that they want me to be. And it's not fully their fault, because we were helped by our grandparents and the bigger family, almost like they put so much pressure on my parents that then my parents, like, had to put it on me, and then there's, like, no escape. So ever since I was little, I've never been, like, no one has ever truly, really, really been concerned about me or truly care about the real thing. Like, they'll tell me that they'll help me, but it's not truly about me, it's about something else or whatever it is. So all of my life, and also I've never been supported in anything that I like to do, so in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna do everything myself. And that's why I'm hyper independent. And so that's why I've never thought about it, but like, it's really fucking impossible for me to like think like, no, Jules got it. Like, Jules got me. Like without thinking like, no, she's not in my head, she doesn't know how I want it, she's gonna mess it up, blah, blah, blah. No, like, bro, like, literally, me saying that to her last night, I was like, oh my god, it's been all me! She's been trying to help me this whole time, and I just keep thinking that no one can help me because of my entire fucking childhood. And then I'm like, oh.
So it was like a moment of growth. It was such a good conversation. I mean, I was a little drunk texting, but who cares? I was so in my feelings. After every message, I just kept saying, like, I love you, and I'm here. And, you know, we don't have to be this best friend and facade and make it seem like we're besties. We're not, but we will always be partners and have that friendship and connection that
it's kind of weird, but all of my besties are distant besties. Yeah. I don't feel like I used to chase this dream of, like,
we're very buff now.
Everyday besties, and like, you know, like, we're here all the time with each other, blah, blah, blah. And now I realize that I don't actually like that. Like, I realize that, like, it's a lot easier for me to take space when I don't feel like I have to fucking actually pull away from somebody.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, ow, you're good on your own. You can't do it, bitch. Like, I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. I have my hand is what I call it. It's like my best friends, but they are all distant.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, it's like 3 of them from high school, and then 2 of them were just, you know, life friends along the way. But those are my friends. But people, I I hate saying that like that. 'Cause I don't want to be like, oh, I don't do friends. I do, but just because of who I am and what I've grown up with, there's a natural distance I have with everybody.
Exactly.
But it's not that person's fault.
Exactly.
So I don't like putting it out there just like, I don't have a lot of friends because I make people that consider me a friend feel bad. Because like, okay, yeah, I am your friend.
Exactly.
But I don't have friends, like, because it goes back to me thinking like nobody gets me, nobody understands. You're my friend, but only because you know this version of me. You really don't know me like that.
Exactly, like you know how people call their coworkers their friends.
Oh.
I'm like, my coworkers are my coworkers. No offense to any of my coworkers, but like, dude, it's not you, it's me. You know, like I just cannot get close like that because you gotta get through so many fucking walls.
Friends. It's easy for you to. It's a nice word for you to use and fine.
Yeah.
But for me, I just feel.
I know because I take it so much more seriously. Like if I'm calling you a friend, like then I'm a friend to you, and like we are like we get each other. But like if I call you a friend, but I can't really go to you, and I know that you have like a set personality that I like avoid in certain situations, blah blah blah. You know, like I'm like okay, no, like we're just in each other's lives. Like we know each other, we're in each other's lives, like associates, whatever.
Yeah.
But I consider friends like the word friends, like I mean that shit, like.
Like the show.
Besties.
No,
like,
yeah.
No, like literally.
Yeah, no, but for
You
real.
just gotta go through some stuff. But I mean, I have people like, oh, that's my homegirls, or that's my homeboy, or that's like, oh yeah, we're cool. Like, there's people that I am friendly with and hang out with and I enjoy, whatever. But I just feel like when it comes to like a friend, like what have you been through? What have you shown me that, you know what I mean?
And it's not even but we see ourselves up here. So you gotta hit the criteria to be that friend. Like you my friend. You know what I mean? Because it's like we know what we want and don't want from relationships, from past friendships that have just failed, not trustworthy, or just have not worked out. So it's like, sorry, but we care up here. We're up here.
I think it just comes with trying to be more mindful and intentional with yourself.
And trying to be an adult and balance that whole like friend life, and because there's some friends that I have to cut off because they're like, oh, you just don't talk to me, and I'm like, that's just, you said the wrong sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you never said, hey, we haven't spoken. How are you? How you feeling? You automatically go to yourself.
Made it about you.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, I don't need that anymore. So you don't serve me.
Oh man, that's a tough one there. When like I like to think that I'm like at an age now where I'm like I know my friends and all that stuff, but I have friends, like a friend in particular that we've been friends for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I thought this person was a part of the hand, and I was just like, oh wait, are we not friends like that?
Are you is it a fortune?
Yeah.
Why are we the same person?
You like
that
get
was
in
the
a
hardest
place.
like little
It's
thing
rough.
that I had to get through because like I think friendship, not breakups, but friendship heartbreaks.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
even
Harder.
worse.
They're worse.
Like
They're worse.
so much worse.
Yeah, romantic
Yeah, what's
heartbreaks, I'll get over that.
Exactly.
I've done that a million times. But like my friends, I take it because we just said I take it very serious. And yeah, waking up one day and being like, oh, we're not friends like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, like this whole time we have been friends like that. And it just, I don't know, then I go down the rabbit hole of just like all the things that we've talked about, all the things that I've said. Like I really hate being like vulnerable. People see me in vulnerable ways. And now it's just like, now I look back and realize that we weren't friends like that the whole time. It's like, how much have you seen? Like, now you have to die. Because you've seen too much. You know too much.
Literally. Like, there has been moments where I realized, like, I was like, damn, like, am I gonna, like, lose this friend? Because of, like, and then we come back together and it's like, it's just like we're just back. Because I'm such an overthinker. Like, when I tell you, like, I am an overthinker to the T, that there was this point where it was my really good friend, Leah, Jonathan's girlfriend, me and her just, like, we're not talking, and it didn't really feel okay. And we got together and we spoke about it, and it just automatically felt like back home. Like it was like a sense of like safety and security with that person. So it's just like I feel like not talking for periods of time. I feel like we're adulting now. We're growing up. People are going into their careers. It's like talking daily, even monthly, even months.
Yeah,
it's like so normal.
Yeah.
And that needs to be normalized. Like don't.
I think that we just have to remember that we don't have as much time as we used to.
Yeah.
Like we just don't.
Like we got out of high school and then what? Literally you would leave from class, get out of school, go on the bus, chilling.
No.
Had the whole summer, 2 summers.
But that's why it's so much easier to have things to be passionate about because you have all the fucking time in the world to fucking be obsessed about it.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I worked out for 3 hours, fucking 7 days a week, like every day.
3 hours.
3 hours workout. I would go to the gym and I would just work out, and then if I see my friends and they're working out, I'll just do another workout with them. Like literally because I have so much time to invest in it. Now, I cannot beat myself up for not fucking being the same way. I don't have fucking time, bro.
Yeah.
Now, if I work out, like, dude, it's wild. But, like, last week, I think I worked out, like, twice. And I was like, damn, am I okay with this? like, is this who I am now? And then I was just like, bitch, you don't have time. Like, you just have to, like, adjust and, like, and I think that I got so stuck and I kept trying to bring myself back to exactly where I was. I had to hit 225 by this time because I used to be able to do it when I was fucking 18, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm like, dude, you know how many, it's been 4 years since I've been trying to get back to lifting 225.
Yeah.
4 years. And every time I'm like, you know that's not like realistic, right? You have to actually stick to it to be able to progress.
Yeah.
Like,
do you know somebody that's never lifted 225 in their entire life?
You know someone else? I'm not a part of the 200.
You're doing great, sweetie. As far as I'm concerned.
My little 2-day workout is just fine.
There we go.
That's
At least you are moving your body because you don't know how. When I leave the gym, I'm telling you, I'm like, bro, what was in that pre-workout that I'm like, I'm the best. I go home, I'm motivated. I want to clean my room. I want to redecorate.
Oh, dude,
the gym
what?
gives you like a different kind of
movement in general.
Movement and rest. I went to work yesterday and I got so fucking triggered just by one little joking conversation. And I didn't get what I want. But it was all a light situation. We were just all picking something and I just didn't pick the thing fast enough. And then I went to the fucking back and I had 7 panic attacks. Back to back to back to back. Went, panic attack, went back in, took my tables, went back out, panic attack, went back in, checked on my tables, went back out, panic attack. The entire fucking day. And I realized that it's because I'm not, like, I don't smoke and I have insomnia, I'm not sleeping well. Right now, I haven't really worked out because I've been working so fucking much. Also, I'm having trouble eating with my appetite because I work so much and I just don't have like the same appetite, blah, blah, blah. All together is why I had such a tough time yesterday. But I can realize that now and be like, these are logical fucking explanation instead of like, what is happening? I'm falling apart. But I'm not. I know exactly what happened. You didn't sleep, you didn't eat, and you're fucking tired. And so I was able to be like, dude, you know that like that was triggering, but not because of them, it's because you're not rested, right? And so now it's like, kind of like more like, okay, we're using the tools on us. Like we're using these different tools that we're able to see and we're actually applying it. Same as last week when I was talking about how like sometimes I drink coffee and then I want to take a shit, but then I get really anxious because I want to take a shit. I have to realize that it's the shit and the anxiety that's connecting, not something actually going on that's the anxiety, you know?
You have to zoom out and be like, okay, what's happening here? The HALT, you've heard of HALT? The basically hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. They say like when you're experiencing something, it's like stop. It's one of these emotions normally that is triggering what's this. So did you hear something? Are you feeling lonely right now? Do you need to call somebody? Are you hungry? Are you sleepy? Like what's the real problem?
Exactly.
And that's where I've been at. It's the panic attack thing is also so crazy because I was like in such a great place and I hadn't had a panic attack and I can't remember the last time. I probably had 4 last month. Like crazy shit happened though, but like I hadn't had like a full on panic attack in quite some time, and like I've had some.
Like where you like feel exhausted, dude.
I get up, my heart starts racing. I start getting really first it's like irritability. I'm like real irritable.
Yeah,
Can't explain why.
Same.
Heart starts beating fast. And then next thing you know, if I either get real like lashy outy or I'm sobbing.
Yep.
And it's like, and then I run and hide.
Yep, same.
It's just like, don't look at me.
Same.
Literally seconds.
Can't sleep the whole day. Like it's literally that, and so that's why it adds to the depression because it's just like, man, I've had a panic attack in forever. I thought I was past that part.
Exactly.
Like,
every time you're like kind of caught off guard because you're like, damn, I thought we did so good to like, to like get rid of us in a way. But realistically, like, bro, like, we're a mental health podcast where we are fully aware that this shit is in us forever.
It'll never grow. It's like a tail that keeps growing back.
Exactly.
The work is to be mindful that the tail is growing. Some people have no idea that they have a long ass tail. It's like, you gonna cut that off or no?
Yeah.
But it's gonna keep growing. You have to manage it. But
exactly.
every time you're in it, it's just like, I can't live back in this place again. Like, but like you said, I have been able to zoom out. Like, I'm like, okay, so this is really crazy. That happened yesterday. I'm probably still feeling good like that. Also, off my meds, I haven't got my prescription filled. That's your fault. If you take the, you know what I mean? Also this, I have been the opposite. I've been smoking like a chimney because I have been so all over the place. And I'm just like, no more feelings.
That was literally me before these 3 days. That's why I ran out of weed so fast.
Yeah. I know how it is, dude. But yeah, you have to be able to identify that stuff or you're just cycling it.
Honestly, I feel like for me personally, I feel like I'm really, really growing into self-accountability. I'm really, really, really growing into like, all right, bitch. Like, I realized this is because, remember how, I think like I mentioned it, I was like, oh, I realized that I don't actually have a true problem with communicating, but it's who I'm trying to communicate to that's like where it's triggering for me to shut down and stuff. I can talk to Jules about literally anything. In any like sense, because it's so fucking important to me to get this out. I need you to know, and so I can communicate literally anything to her, no matter how like fucking uncomfortable. But it's because it's her on the receiving end. I know we trust each other. I know we are having like an open conversation, and I know like you will listen to me. If it's to another person who I know I don't have this kind of like vibe with, I literally automatically like shut down, and that's when I like cry and tell myself like, oh, I have such problem talking, but it's not me.
It's not.
It's literally like who I'm trying to like fucking speak to or whatever it is, and so from all of that, I realized that like, oh, I am actually really good. So then I started actually like kind of trusting myself more and like being like hard on myself, but in like the way of like pushing myself. Like, stop saying that you can't do this. You know how to do this. I say that I don't know how to use TikToks and Instagram and stuff all the time, and so I literally like watch YouTube videos on how to make a fucking TikTok, and then I cried real tears, and then I texted our social manager like, hey, fucking help me please. But me even taking the time to watch those YouTube videos to even want to be good at TikTok is what matters in the first place. Because before I was holding myself out on a boat to where I'm like, I can't do that. I just can't. Yeah. Because I don't know, and I just can't. Now I'm like, you don't want to, but you can. So then do it.
You can do literally
anything.
It's so easy to read that on an Instagram quote or, you know, some kind of like self-care post and put it in your story and act like that's what your life is about. But it's just like, you can practice that. Like, there's so many things that I've done that you've done, creating this thing, you know what I mean? Nobody, like, you didn't know how to do it at one point, you figured out how to do it. Everything's a thought, but you choose what you want to make happen.
Yes.
But all the time, I'm like, well, I can't work there, I can't do that. And I'm just like, why do I say stuff like that? But I'm always preaching to everybody, just like, you can do whatever, you can change your life whenever you want to. Until I watched a fucking YouTube video about it. But in my own life, am I doing that? Like, little life things. Like, oh, I used to ride this all the time. Like, oh, I was really bad with money, like, for a long time because it was like, I started off young. My parents really put me out of the house with no coping skills. 18 years old, I didn't know anything about bank accounts and credit, all that, you know what I mean? So I made a bunch of young, stupid kid mistakes, you know? But then one day I was just like, you are a grown-ass man. Like, it's not cute to be telling people, like, oh, I don't know how to do this because of this.
Exactly.
Bitch, go pay your bills. You know what I mean? Like, you can learn how to do it. Like, the same way you didn't know how to do this, but you learn what you want to do, things that are fun. And it was like I'm talking to myself, like, no, go figure it out. Go to the bank and sit with the people and ask them, hey, I have this, how you do that? Call there's people that do that, consolidation. And that's really how I started putting my life together to like get on track with like starting this business and all that. Cause I didn't want to bring that shit into like my business. But it was just like, if I'm gonna jump across the country and start a business because I'm just doing this, I can do that with anything in my life. I can fix things that I don't know how to do.
Oh my God,
like,
you know what's wild?
I still know how to do TikTok, but
you know what's so fucking crazy? So I have such fucking ADHD.
What is
and I've always had such fucking anxiety towards anything that requires like focus. And anything that requires just a little bit of Legos, not puzzles, gives me so much fucking anxiety that it's one of those things where I'm like, I can't do it.
Rubik's Cubes?
All of it. I can't do it. I get so anxious. Anything that I have to like problem solve with like or whatever, I just, like it hurts so much. And so Legos is the same thing because in my mind, I'm like, does anybody else feel like they gotta pop 3 Adderalls to fucking do Legos? Like, is that only me?
Like, get out of the room.
So, one of my friends bought me a bonsai tree Lego set.
Okay.
Years ago, like a year or 2 years ago, and I have never touched it ever. And I've always felt bad about not touching it because he fucking like bought it for me, right? And within this week, I was doing so bad, yo. I was doing so fucking bad, bitch. Like, so fucking bad. I literally took out this fucking Lego thing, and I was like, oh shit. But I was like, if I can do this, if I can put this together, I can do anything. I can do anything. I can literally do anything.
That's so cute.
Like, dude,
isn't it?
Like, isn't it fucking crazy?
And those rocks? That is so cute.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And
They
it's
killed
like,
this.
yeah, exactly. But like me just looking at the box, I'm like, I cannot believe I put all of these little shit together. And I know this is so fucking simple for some people.
Not. I'm looking at it like,
dude, that's why I was like, but then I was like, Khan, if you can sit down and zone yourself in, take as much time as you need to do this. And I kept telling myself, if I can do this, I can do anything. And you know what's fucking crazy?
you want to do it now. I can't do Legos either.
No, but you know what's crazy? So I started and I was like, oh shit, I got this. Fucking got this. So smooth. Second part, I'm like, I got this. I got stuck on one part. I just stopped doing it. Fucking rested that night. Went to sleep. Picked it back up the next morning. And then continued. And then I got stuck again. Just left it. Went back the next morning. Asked my sister for help. She was like, I can't think right now. I'm hungry. I need to eat. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna sit here and try to do it. Took a little bit of time. Figured it out. And then I got to the next part. And I put everything together wrong. So then I had to redo everything. But before I even got mad, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to take this all out. And so I was just like, okay, I fully accept that I have to take this all out. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm gonna calm down and I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And then I took it apart the next day and I built all of it in one day. And I was like, that's literally the process. Because parallel to this, I have been thinking about the process of this podcast so fucking much because I just feel like I struggle with the how do I create to create for myself and then how do I create for there to be a sense of purpose to serve others. How do I make this the best that I can while being as inclusive to my partners and letting them in and then I was just like, fuck, I changed my mind so much because I think so much. How do I fucking tell them? Like, hey, I'm sorry, this is how I feel now. All of these different things. And then I realized, I was like, the same way that you took apart that one thing that you built and then redo it again is the same way that you're gonna have to do this. And you have to accept that. You have to accept that you're gonna hit a point, you're gonna fail, Dude, I am literally in so much fucking debt right now and I have no money to my name and I'm the poorest I've ever been and that's even poorer than when I was 17 when I had $100 in my savings account. But
savings account, what's that?
Yeah.
No, my bank is like, hey, we're gonna start charging you.
We're gonna start charging.
I know. I'm like, please don't, girl.
Savings. I don't
exactly. But then I was like, dude, exactly how much patience I took to do this is how I'm like, hun, you need to attack life like that. That's why I kept telling myself, like, if I can do this, I can do anything, dude. Oh my gosh, it was so fucking crazy.
And the way you took it apart, you didn't figure out, so you just took a break and came back to the next day. It's like everything is not so final. Like when you can't figure something out, you just feel like, oh, I can't do it now.
I have to give up and scratch it all over again. Yeah.
Tomorrow exists. Like you can just take a second. Like it's gonna be there. If you don't figure it out right in a second, does that mean the world is? What's gonna happen? Did you die though? Like it's like okay, I didn't figure this out today. That was rough. let me take a break and figure it out tomorrow. Instead of just giving up completely, being like, I'll never figure it out from then. Like, that's
like
literally
it's not
like,
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you take the time,
yeah.
maybe it will show you that it's worth it.
Patience is virtue.
Exactly. Patience is the word. Because, I was never a Lego person either. I used to get them as a kid all the time, but I didn't have the patience to stick with it, or if it didn't look just like the box or whatever. But my uncle has a Lego city in his house.
Oh fuck.
It's
dude, those people scare me.
Yeah. It's one room and it's literally like New York City. Like, Central Park, all of it, like it's a full room, like houses and everything. Like, it took years to put together. Yeah, it's
people
crazy.
that have Lego houses, Lego rooms, put together airplane toys, put together like fucking 1,000 pieces puzzles and stuff. Those people scare me. I'm like, what kind of brain power?
What kind of brain power?
Yeah.
I maxed out at 100-piece puzzles, and even that's just
100.
I have a friend that does puzzles, and she like glues the back of it. It's Johnny's sister, and Naisha, she can go. She loves puzzles, and she can just sit, and she just like loves the process of it. One day I told her, I said, "Girl, what?" Because she had puzzle pieces everywhere. She was just sitting there, light on, like she had light on, and she was just like going in. And I was like, I could never. How do you have the patience? And she's like, I just love the outcome. And I just looked at her and I was like, I love that.
Isn't that wild?
It is something. When you finish a puzzle, there's a very like empowering feeling.
That's what it is.
When you do that, like when you finish like putting a puzzle together and it's done, it's just like I know that I remember that feeling.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get past 75, 100 if I'm like really into it, I really love it. But no. Once they get, it's because of the size. Once they get smaller and smaller, it's like, I can't
know why I don't like.
I don't have the patience, but I want the patience.
But how do I become less irritable? Because I get so easily irritable.
Mm-hmm.
Like so do I. Even at Carmen, I apologize all the time. Like, I'm so sorry for snapping. Like, girl, I'm sorry I took you away from that fucking planet. Like, I'm sorry that I was like, dude. It's wild.
I feel like it's us just like trying to. I feel like at least when I'm around someone new or someone like, I just get so easily irritable. Like I get cranky. Like I'll even like start to change my body language and people be like, "Are you okay?" And
you can tell when
the thing is
irritated.
I can't. And then I get nervous because then I'm like, how do I say how I feel? And then I'm like, oh whatever. You're just like overthinking. So then I push away my feelings rather than saying how I feel, and then I get more irritated, and then the person's bothering me, like, I know you're feeling some type of way, tell me how you're feeling, tell me, like, I can read your body language, and I'm like, leave me alone!
You're like, but then read my mind!
But then that's, oh my god, read my mind, I'll cry right now.
I feel that, dude. I feel that so much.
I have to learn how to, in the moment, just say, hey, I don't really want to talk about it right now.
Exactly.
I just kind of want to not talk. Is that okay?
The irritable thing, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like a control thing. You're trying to control
I get so easily irritable with people.
I think so. Honestly, I get extremely irritable. Like to the point where like when I snap, I'm like, what the fuck's going on, dude?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, they did not deserve that.
Yeah.
But like I'm also like,
so I'm sorry.
It's like kind of weird. Some people can be how they are and like not regret it.
Mm-hmm.
I am like instant like. Damn, I shouldn't have said that. Damn, I should have just. Even though I know that was how I felt in that moment.
Yeah.
And then I'm like.
It was so wild. Like I just got back from Thanksgiving with my family up in Indiana, and I love my family a lot, but we had a lot of issues, a lot of mental health issues, a lot of everybody just this stuff. And so I kind of feel like me and like a few of my cousins, a couple of us have made the choice to like move out and get out of the toxic patterns. But what you were saying about people getting so irritable and just not caring about the outcome, that is literally how my entire family operates. And I've been away for so long, and I was there looking, and they they're arguing over like, people are cooking, washing dishes, just little things. And everybody just snaps in the moment as if what happened to you just now is the most important thing that went on. You're irritated about the dishes, so now you're snapping on this person. Now you're arguing about something totally different. And growing up in it, I was used to it. When I've been away for so long, I'm like, you're that mad about it. You're that upset that now everybody has to know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Like now we all gotta just listen to this argument, and then there's no awareness. Like he's like, oh, I'm mad now. That's it. And it's like. No, now the whole vibe is killed. And I'm like, do I do that to people? Like, is that? And I know that I do on some level. But it was one of my come to Jesus moments, being away, seeing it, I was like, oh,
when you see it on the
that's craziness.
Yeah.
Like, I like you. I instantly regret when I have a moment. I'm just like, oh god, my crazy showing. Don't look. I'm sorry about that, guys. But I didn't realize that was a thing until I was there and I saw like people that don't have that same thing. It's just like it's kind of like it's selfish, but it's kind of like egotistical. It's like
yes, it is.
Your shit that important that we all gotta deal with you being upset? Like you can be irritated, but why does everybody have to be?
That's how I feel about people at my job. Because the service industry and the hospitality industry is extremely like toxic because people are constantly overworked and blah 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 blah, right? And a lot of people don't work through their own shit. Like a lot of times, there's a lot of grown adults in the hospitality industry that like just really cannot handle their emotions. You know, navigate their emotions and all of that shit. And that's exactly how I feel.
I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. Work on that shit because there's some old ass servers that are just want to complain and complain and complain. Like, listen, that's $5 that you walked in with, that you're walking in with, that you didn't have when you came.
But so like they make a big deal as if they haven't done that shit their whole life. Like the thing is like everybody to an extent, has the right to express whatever they want in the moment. But like an evolved person, I think, considers the fact that is it fucking necessary.
Or keeps it to themselves. Doesn't have to say it out loud. The complaining and the and the this and the oh my god, I want to be cut. Why am I not cut? It's like so. It's almost draining.
We're all
to the point where I don't want to. When I see
and also I've been that way as well. But like you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta work on that shit. Like grow, just grow a little. You know?
I have a question for, this is like a little sidebar, just because y'all understand relation work, but this is more so like the toxicness of like customers. I was explaining to the guys, I was like, I have worked in restaurants, I have worked as a bartender, I've been in several situations, and I feel like people in restaurants is very telling of who they are as people.
Hell yeah.
And I always say that regardless of race, gender, any kind of like situation that's like, puts you above anybody, people, when they have a chance to have power over you, they take it every single time. The way people treat service workers and run them around and stuff like that, that was my biggest takeaway from coming back. And I was like, is that just me being bitter? Do you feel that way? Do you feel like people like get off on being like, you don't have power in your regular life?
Exactly.
So you're going somewhere where you can tell somebody what to do, and it's just like, I don't know, people that are rude to service workers, stuff like that, always blows my mind. It's like, wow, I think as a society, we're just...
It's kind of weird, like, how entitled you feel to be able to treat someone like that. And I say this
in this setting, if we were outside these walls, would you still talk to me like this? Like,
exactly. If you knew that I wasn't obligated to not throw hands, would you fucking try me?
Exactly.
Like, the fuck?
Like, I have walked up to tables and they've been like, can we get a different server?
Yo, that's wild. Like, that's fucking wild.
Okay.
I think one time somebody, this is a long time ago, but I think one time a table didn't want to me to serve them because I was Asian. It's so fucking weird. People are so fucking weird.
Oh, I've had it every which way. Like, and it's like, it's crazy because it's like, this shouldn't be hurtful because you're a total stranger, does the job, and I don't care about any of this, but it's just like, I would go to the bathroom and cry. Like, I've had it happen. Like, I have totally, many times, and for all kinds of different reasons. Like, people are awful. But I was just, the guys were talking about this, and I was just like, I just feel like, anytime people, and I think it's a society we live in, I think it's capitalism be what it wants, but people just like crave power any kind of way they can get it. And so. You
know what's fucking crazy too? The way that people are in, say, Europe, in restaurants as a guest, completely different than the entitlement of the United States.
America.
The guest knows to wait for the server. The guest knows that their server runs them and their night, not you run that. They have like a system set up to where it's like, this is how I do my job, and this is how you're gonna experience this experience. To where here, and you know why? It's because they don't work for tips. And so their entire life is like not on the fucking line. They don't have to police nobody because they know exactly what they're doing. Capitalism makes it so that you have to fucking work to live, and so everything becomes more precious. So then that's why, you know how it's funny, like customer service voice, your server voice, like all of these different personalities that you put on and whatever the fuck. It's like so fucking weird. You don't see that shit in Europe. You don't see people trying to kiss your ass for fucking $5. You know, like it's just the system of the society. Really fucking weird. Dude.
Interesting. I didn't want to derail the conversation, but
no, you are good.
Yeah, I survived the restaurant game. I was in it for a long time, y'all. Like a long time.
I know.
And I had great experiences. Like I loved some parts of it, but it shows a lot about people, man.
Dude, yeah. And I think the best thing that I learned from it too is, this is my takeaway. I went to college, but I dropped out. So immediately, like, my life after school was grown adults in my work setting. Mm-hmm. And so it has really, really fucking taught me so many things. Like, 1, nothing is personal. 2, you are more grown than these fucking adults. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like it puts me in perspective of like, oh, like, all that matters is how you carry yourself as a human. And so I learned to not allow things to get to me. I learned to navigate through like my anxiety because of other people. I learned to not take in what people are complaining about. I learned to not give a fuck. I learned to walk away from people when they're irritating me. Like all of this shit. And it's because I work in an environment where there's such a diversified group of personalities and situations and conditions and all of that shit. Right? So like if you work in like a tech company, you're kind of like set up to where you're, you know what I'm saying? Right. Hospitality is not like that, bro. Yeah. I have had so many fucking weird people that I've met. And
it's like, the jungle.
Exactly.
But you meet some really cool people too.
You do. All of my bestest friends are from my, you know, like fucking, but that's why I feel like, and I'm gonna tie this into basically the topic today, but that's why like my job right now, my parents, like, now that I'm grown, I understand their fear and their worries. I understand that they don't necessarily want me to do what they want me to do. I understand that they just want me to have a plan so that they know that I'm set up so that they don't have to worry about me. Mm-hmm. My dad, I'm still under my dad's insurance, thankfully, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like little things like that to where I realize that like, oh, you're just trying to set me up to be like an adult. Mm-hmm. And that I can get, like, I'm good for myself, and like the things that you teach me are the things that you know, even though I don't choose to go your path, I know that you're doing it out of love and like all of this shit. But it's always been so hard for me, not hard. Weirdly, I have like the most giant amount of confidence in myself. So much trust and so much confidence. And I said this to my therapist that I didn't realize it, but I am such a confident fucking person because there's no way that I can live in this much uncertainty in my life and like be just fine. And the uncertainty that I'm talking about is my job. I don't have a fucking diploma. I don't have a fucking career. I am purely trying to make myself, make it creatively. I've never had anybody in my life to encourage that. Even though all of the artistic things that I got is from my mom and my mom's side, everybody's in Vietnam. All of the aunts and uncles that would encourage me to continue singing or draw or like all of these things, they're in Vietnam. The fucking family that I have here is like academic as fuck. My grandpa is like a fucking military fucking whatever, was in fucking prison for 9 years, you know what I'm saying? The pass down of all of that is like, it's almost like all my life I tell my parents, like, you just have to trust me. I don't know how else to like tell you. I have no plan, but like I trust myself, so why can't you trust me? Yeah. And so like right now, I think the reason why it feels so bad, like just so bad trying to navigate through all of this and like kind of keeping my head up is because no one's ever taught me how to do this. No one's ever been like, you can't start a podcast and you can't do it and you don't need, Carmen. But like, it was almost like there was no encouragement of my own faith, so I've always just had to navigate through it myself. And so how do I keep myself afloat with my own faith when sometimes I feel like I'm failing? When sometimes I don't feel like I make the best decisions and blah, 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 blah. Like literally last night, I was so fucking sad and I was so whatever. And my sister just asked me like, hey, can you hang out with our cousin? And I was like, no, I'm so broke, I need to work, I can't take any days off. And then I slowly started telling her like, yeah, I'm like really, really broke. Like, you know, like this new, like, because we brought on a social media manager for this podcast, it is a giant toll on me because financially I'm already so fucking behind, but I just, in the moment, I believed in this so much that I just want to make this investment. And so I did. And then my sister said something to me that, like, it didn't set me off, even though it did, but in the right way, right? So it was almost like, duh, I fucking know to not fucking go into something if I don't have money for it or this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I fucking know that, obviously. But, like, the one thing specifically she said was, like, don't invest when you don't have the money to invest in the first place, right? And, like, that's true, obviously, and it hit me, and it really did, and it's something that I've known, but then I had to, like, navigate through all of my feelings. Like, nobody's ever fucking, like, nobody has ever taught me to walk on my own faith. And so how do I navigate through this investment that I believe in so fucking much without looking stupid on the outside for digging myself into a deeper hole? But I'm purely following my trust and I know that I'm in deep shit and I know that I'm gonna make it out. But like, I think that I just worried so much about how I looked on the outside to people, and that's why I wasn't telling anybody that I'm in like such deep shit. But then I'm like, it's not fully you, man. Like, you were brought up in an environment where you're learning all of this on your own, and so even though, yes, you're making like financial mistakes, you're in so much debt, and you don't know what to do, and blah, 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 like, I still believe in myself. It's so fucking weird, and so like, that's why in the outline, I put, how do you keep going when it feels like death? Yeah. Cause it does, like, and that's why I think like I wanted to connect with you on this, because I'm like, I feel like I'm in the same shoe, man. Like
100%.
Yeah.
And you don't know, that's a whole different other level of loneliness when you don't have anybody to explain. Like, something bad happened to you and you want to express that to somebody, but everybody's already judging you because of your situation. It's like, well, if you just did this, you'd be doing this. But it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And I know that it's going to work, and I can't tell you how it's going to work, but it's when I moved down here with this whole plan and stuff. Nobody ever understood. I'm from a military family. It was like, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do that? And it was like, because I don't want to. What do you want to do? I can't really explain to you, but I'll know what I'm doing kind of thing. And that's kind of how I live my whole life. And everybody just looks at you like you're crazy. It's just like, okay, well, so you have a problem when you're in debt, or you get this, you know what I mean, you're couch surfing, I've done all these things. People are just like, well, I mean, if you would have just did X, Y, and Z, it would have been that. And it's like, why didn't I do that? So it just sounds like you just don't want to do this, you know what I mean? But I can't explain to you why I know what I want to do. I trust myself. I don't know what I'm trusting, but I trust it. So when I moved
I don't know what I'm trusting, but I trust it. It's my entire life.
Yeah, literally.
I moved down here, dude, and I had a whole plan in place, and that plan fell apart in seconds. And I was like, well, I'm here now, so okay, I'll just stay with my friend and do this and this. And then my friend, it was just like my family was like, okay, you can stay here, but what's your plan? What's da-da-da? And it was like, I have one, I just don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I need you to be a friend. Like, this is the friend that wasn't so much of a friend.
Yeah.
This is how I found we were really friends like that. Because I was like, if you're my friend, you will just get it and you don't.
Yeah.
I'm not freeloading off of you, I'm not doing anything, but I need help in the moment. I can't explain to you why I need the help, because then I gotta go through the whole thing.
And I feel like that's when the seasonal depression and the loneliness kicks in, because then you don't want to tell everybody your business. You don't want that sympathy.
Keep it to yourself.
You don't want like that, oh my God, well, do you need help? Because that's not what I need. I need you to just be a friend, listen to me when I want to be listened to, and if you want to give me like criticism or your feedback, give me your feedback, but it's not really like, and that's why it's like more of like, you need to know your hand. Your circle, your people that you're like.
It taught me a lot. And I went into, that's when I got into my whole like, you already got kind of bag. And it was like, it just is what it is, keep yourself to yourself. And so I don't want to give that advice that that's good to do, but I feel like my trust in myself was so much that now that I have this, like, I feel like, this was my fucking plan. I told y'all I had a plan. Like, now I have a whole studio. But before, when you're sleeping in your car, people are like, why are you doing that? You had a great job, go back and do that. And it was like, I can't do that. And if you're not willing to help me understand, then I'll do whatever it takes. And I'm in this car. I got my bowl. I can pack this bowl and sleep right here and be fine, because I know that something's gonna come from this. And that was at the lowest of the low for me. But like, I didn't know what I was even working towards. So I think I say all that to say, like, keep trusting whatever it is, because it's gonna manifest into something. And this is the tip of the iceberg. I haven't made it by any means. I'm broke now, but it's like I have something to show for that time period.
Exactly.
And my whole life, and you do too. Like this is something to show for that investment. That's what you believed in. You invest in that. Like
exactly.
I put all that stuff above worldly things. Like fuck your rent, your student loans, and all that stuff. I'm investing in myself. It is what it is. I know that I'm gonna get there. So it's gonna be a little rough. Here and there, you sacrifice. It is what it is. But I mean, like, that's what life's all about, right? Like, if we're gonna be unhappy regardless, let's chase something that makes us happy.
No, literally.
Like,
I love hearing you guys talk about your trials and tribulations and the way that you guys can kind of navigate, because I feel like you both are so similar. Yeah, you guys are right. You guys are so similar. And I feel like I'm completely like the opposite. But I love to hear the way you guys can always do the zoom out and just look and say, I've been here before.
I honestly think that is because we are very
I feel like versatile.
lonesome like individuals that's really like deep in our solitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like we're very like, and I can confidently say this now, I feel like I'm very good on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I can't explain like any of this shit. Even sometimes I don't even want to say it to Jules because I don't want her to be like, we don't have money for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take it on myself because I believe in it. So I'm somehow gonna make it work. Somehow I'm gonna make it work.
Oh my gosh, you guys' relationship is literally how I am with the guys. Like they're like my jewels, both of them, and we had a really good talk because they were saying like everything that I don't want to say everything we have is because of me. I don't want to say that, but most of the things that we've acquired is because I'm kind of the centerpiece. I met this one, I met you, put you guys together. Oh, I met this person, he brought us this. I met this person, we have this resource now. But they have like this weird trust in me that I don't know where it comes from. But they have followed me into party buildings.
Like, why is she so down?
Yeah, it's like I got this idea, and we're gonna do this thing. And blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times I'm just like, oh, I'll just do it myself and figure it out, and then they'll get it once I start doing it. But now I realize, like, I have to start trusting them the way they trust me. Because when we, like, even we took the studio on, we didn't have a business loan, we didn't have, like, anything. We took on a building with overhead that was about to close with no clients. We were working and paying out of our own pockets to keep it open. But they followed me into that, and I always think back like, wow, you guys like really trusted that this was gonna work out into something. Like people don't do that.
And that's the thing, when you know in your heart and in your soul that something is for you and made for you, you will do anything for it. You know, but it's like I can
but
never.
You need people that will believe that with you.
That's literally how I feel about Johnny. Sometimes I ask Johnny's for like so many fucking things, and he replies in 3 seconds every time, yes. And I'm always like, bro, I didn't even know you before this. I literally didn't even know you before this, and you were like, it's so weird. Like that's why I think I'm so like grateful, and that's why I kind of like zone in and out of myself because I'm like, Khan, they got you. They got you.
Like she does like this a little bit like obsessive overthinking, and she's like, no. But it's like, ask Johnny one thing, and Johnny will sit and be like, you know, here, this is how you do it. I want you to learn.
And the thing is, like, you know, like, I approached this idea with Jules, and then Jules brought Johnny in, but, like, every time we make changes, or I'm like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, he's never left us.
Yeah.
Like, he's never left us.
All right, guys, figure that out. Yeah, got that? All right.
I know.
I'm out of here. Y'all lasted for too much now. I cannot make your guys' head explode.
But that's what happens. You believe in something, you trust yourself, and then you just go and do it. I can't put into words like how people are always like, oh, how'd you start this? How'd you do that? It was just like, I just started doing things, and then the universe will send you the people that believe in that. They're gonna help you, but you think it's gonna be like your best friend or your cousin or your aunt or your mom's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna believe in it. But for me, it's none of those people. Like I didn't know Sean and Herman until like when I moved down here, and I met them separately. Like I had no idea we were gonna be able to form this like dream team. That wasn't even the intention. It was just like these people just came to me, and it was just like, you are exactly what I needed in my life right now. I don't know anybody else like you. I don't know where I would be if I didn't have them. So I feel like anytime you feel like you gotta go on that thing, it's like regardless, you do have somebody outside.
That should be one of your quit that shit.
So I actually wanna read this thing. It's really fucking weird. But I was trying to delete pictures to make space on my phone because I have 20,000 pictures and no storage. So I was just like going through my shit. And I randomly like got onto this thing, which are screenshots of this girl that did my entire birth chart for me.
I want to get that done.
And so I want to read something, and it's curated for me, but I want to read it out loud because it just makes fucking sense. Like it just literally makes sense, right?
What is your birthday, first of all?
My birthday is September 9th.
Okay. So
I am a Virgo. There's this fucking
Aries.
We've done this already.
Yeah.
Fucking this one, it says your third house, Sagittarius, communication/mental process situations. And in communicating, you don't want to get too down about anything serious. You're more interested in learning about the world and different cultures and look at the big pictures, but the details can slip your mind. Sagittarius here is writing, speaking, thinking, learning about religion, speaking philosophically, being a philosophical thinker. And I was like, oh shit, that is like why I try to make this podcast like specifically like sounding in a way. When I write things, I write them in a way. When I try to not preach to people, but when I try to teach and learn from one another, I try to like, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then it goes down to like Capricorn in the 4th house, and it says that means that you emerge and grow emotionally well when you're faced with obstacles. And that's why I feel like I can sit in my depression, and that's why I feel like, you know, like so comfortable when I'm struggling, I guess. And then it says Capricorn deals with a lot of control. My little fucking control freak.
Yes, ma'am.
And it says you might have dealt with a controlling, disciplined, or strict home environment, or even a strict mother or father figure. And then it says you may be serious in private, but keeping your ambitious private. And then it says Neptune here in growing up may have been hard for you to do in your home as a kid, and now you're trying, and so you create a family out of people you encounter and grow close to in life. I was like, oh, bitch, I forgot about this birth chart. I forgot that this shit literally says my entire life.
Yeah.
And then, like, in here, it also says, like, that my, whatever the fuck the money house is, or the shit that, like, has to do with money, it said, like, whatever you give out, or whenever you feel like you hit that fucking rock, it's gonna come back tenfold. That's why all of these things right now in this moment with this whole fucking mental process that I'm going through, all of it is literally about keeping the faith within myself. All of it is literally about like, yo, you got that shit. Just remember that you're this, remember that you're that. And I said this to my therapist in the last session. It's not that I don't know how I feel. I know exactly how I feel. I've always known exactly how I feel, and I've always known exactly how I am. I allow other people from the outside dictate how I want to present myself. I allow people to make me think that my feelings are not right and maybe I should explore theirs when I should have stand firm on myself because I know exactly how I am and who I am. So why did I fucking forget that? Fucking all the traumas of growing up and all of that shit. And I've always been like fearless. And I said this to my therapist. A lot of people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was younger, I would sneak out of the house at night no one taught me how to be sneaky. No one taught me that I was going to be good. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get myself out and I'm going to get myself back in. Every time I lied to my parents to do something that I want, I made sure that I got out and I made sure I got back in without them having to even worry. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, I've always been that way, but then as I was growing up, I started thinking that I needed to need people, but in the sense of them completing me, in the sense of, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna take your help because when the reality is, I know what I'm doing, I trust myself, and then I'm gonna attract the exact people that are going to complement that, instead of placing all of that fucking like placing all of my emotions and all of my like train of thoughts and stuff based on how they're going to receive me or how they're gonna help me, because like it's weird, you do need people, you need connection, that is everything, but you don't have anything with anybody if you don't have that connection to yourself. And I lost that connection to myself like for so long, dog. Now I'm like, shit, I don't need nobody.
She's looking back, and I love that for you. So
Well, I do need you. I need Jules and Johnny.
Yeah. I guess we'll stay. We're cool.
Team makes the dream work. I'm telling you, nothing can be done without the team.
Crazy.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
But like, also give yourself credit.
Yeah.
Remember to give yourself
And that
credit.
is one of my quit that shits. I don't give myself credit. I don't know what it is. I can't be nice to myself sometimes. And that is something that I'm truly, it's like on my like New Year's resolution. I need to be nice to myself.
Yeah.
Like I need to start like I'm gonna quit that shit.
But you know it's not really nice to yourself. It's honest.
Oh.
You need to be honest with yourself because
if
you fool yourself into thinking that you need to be nice to yourself, you're gonna be nice to yourself all the time. You're gonna overlook all of reality. If you tell yourself that you're gonna be honest with yourself, then you can compliment yourself on exactly what you are, how you're doing, and then realize that maybe I'm not so good right now, or maybe I didn't do that well, and whatever, and then move on from there. I used to fake positivity. In my mind,
toxic positivity.
Yeah, toxic positivity. I used to, in my mind, would always be like, no, you're fine, I'm fine, you feel okay, you're good, just make sure that you're good in here. Thinking that if I tell myself I'm good.
Yeah.
That's toxic positivity because you're not actually helping anybody. Realistically, if I was just honest with myself and be like, you don't feel so good right now. That's okay.
Me and the guys were having this. It's like this too. We are each other's therapists, but Sean, when I first met him, he's a big ball like, but I always felt like I told him I was like, I feel there's a little toxic positivity in there. I know I was complaining about everything and I'm always in a bad mood. I was bitching and the world's crumbling down around. But like what Sean has is always like everything's great, everything's fine. That's kind of attitude. That is very helpful when you need it. But as we have deeper talks and stuff, and then he would reveal more about himself or whatever, I know there's issues there because it's like there's no way you have an issue. You just told me this thing, so I know you have to be dealing with that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I feel like if we're gonna have an authentic relationship, like you don't have to tell me all your business, but it's okay if it's like not all good. Like if you're not good today, you're not good today. Like you don't have to come in here and feel like you gotta pull me up and be like, oh, everything's fine, whatever. It's just like, I know that you're not fine because what you just shared with me. So like whatever. And since then we had to talk about that. And he was just like, man, that really is like, I was like, I feel like I give a little bit of my little sadness a little bit just to make it okay for you. It's okay to be sad. Like we can be sad together. Come on over.
Yeah.
Because there's some days where I'm really sad, and he comes in, and it's just like, oh, thank God, I need somebody to like laugh with. I need somebody, whatever. But I feel like I give a little bit of that too, because that being comfortable in your sadness thing, like some people aren't, and that gets you into the toxic.
You spiral.
Yeah, everything's good.
Quick.
I want to ask you, do you journal?
I do. Oh my God. Yeah, literally. I was just journaling this morning before I did the egg cleanse.
Because something that can help you, but it helps me. I like in my journal, like writing things down.
But I'm slowly trying to get back in.
I like to write things down that either I want to do or I'm doing, or just goals for the podcast, if it's for the studio, whatever it is, write things down. What really helps me is when I go back and read those old posts. Like, even if it was a sad one, like I was depressed that day or whatever, it's just like, I'll reread it and see how sad, and it's like, whatever I was sad about that day, it's like, it's trivial now because this is months, years later. Yeah. So I'm reading it and it was like, oh man, I was really going through it that day. But it's just like, well, look where I am now. Like, I'm fine now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do it again, but that's what really helps me keep my feelings in check and feel proud of things. It's like, I'm still alive. I'm still here. This day, I felt like I was done. You know what I mean? So it's weird to read that stuff back sometimes. It's kind of cringy sometimes, but it helps me kind of keep myself in check where it's like, you're doing fine. Like, you're doing, at one point, this was all you knew. You know, and now you know so much more than you do that day. Exactly. You know, so I don't know. That's what my
no, and I completely hear
it's corny,
you.
but it helps.
No, I love that.
No, I think that's the point of journaling, is that so that you can read back.
Yeah. I used to not though.
Same.
I want to see writing it. I never used to read that.
I want to hear it. Okay, guys. So quit that shit.
You didn't even explain to him what quit that shit is.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, quit that shit.
Okay. So, we have a new segment on the show.
Okay.
It's called Quit That Shit, and it's basically just how we end the show every time on something that we're trying to hold ourselves accountable to and each other by saying it out loud. That's why we are doing it out loud.
Okay.
This is just something that you're trying to quit, break away from, something that's not serving you anymore, a pattern, a habit, fucking food, anything. Anything at all that's not serving you. You're saying it out loud so that you're defining the actual step. And then we check back in with each other to be like, how's that going? So, do you have anything that you're currently trying to fucking
quit that shit?
Oh man.
Used to be quit that bitch. I kind of miss say bitch.
Quit that shit, bitch.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I like that. So the shit I'm trying to quit. You know what? It goes back to your long thing. I'm not gonna do a whole long thing, but I read a horoscope the other day that like read me like
Tough, yeah.
down to like I was on my knees, but I've been trying to finish it. I was just like, why are you yelling at me? It was talking about it said I would have to read it word for word, but it was just basically saying it was about relationships. I've always had this like stance of just like, oh, I'm good on my own, I'm fine or whatever. And people think that I'm single and I'm living like this like cool bachelor life and I have this whole thing. Not at all. I am alone all the time. It ain't no dates, it ain't no little black book, ain't nobody coming over, ain't no Sunday fun days. I'm just kicking it. And I'm okay with that, but I think getting older, realizing maybe I'm not as okay with it as I thought I was.
Maybe it was your defense mechanism to just get yourself into that place.
It 100% was.
But maybe it's not serving you anymore.
Exactly. I convinced myself that I didn't need to be at that, but now I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I have this is a red one. It's so weird, but I have like these like romantic trysts that aren't even that big of a thing, but I've convinced myself that that's enough. Like I'll be single or whatever, then I'll meet somebody and go on a couple of dates and have a great time. And then before it gets to the point of being like a real thing and we're talking every day, whatever, it's like I'll find some kind of way to get out of that because we can't trust all that. But I've convinced myself those fleeting moments were enough.
Yep.
And my horoscope said that you've convinced yourself that fleeting romantic feelings and unrealistic fantasies about relationships aren't this. It was a whole thing, and it was just like, and now you're realizing that that's not the case at all, and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, I do that. I sit and daydream whole relationships with people that aren't even it. Like I'm talking because I can't put it into words, but I create these things that aren't really there because that's easier than when I'm actually really finding it.
Yep, same.
And I didn't realize it until that moment that I was reading that horoscope like 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, that is what I do.
You're like screenshot.
Oh my god, I'm doing it right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's some weird bitch shit right there. Who does that? Like, it was a real vulnerable moment. I was like, I'm the problem here. So
why are we the same person?
mine with that shit is I'm not gonna go out and marry somebody tomorrow, but I'm gonna stop telling myself these things that I used to like be okay with. There's things that I don't like about myself. There's things but I've convinced myself that are cool because it was a defense mechanism. It's hurtful.
Yep.
Like, and to get past it, it's like, no, I'm fine with that. Or actually, that's not really for me. And it's like, no, that is for me. Actually, I do like that. Actually, I did hurt my feeling. I'm trying to quit just blanket statements about myself, about what I do. Like, just trying to allow myself to, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Like, find yourself again. This is like
yeah, I'm trying to get back to who I was before I put this whole thing up. And that was a long time ago. I don't know where that person is.
You got some soul searching.
Some soul searching. But yeah, I'm just trying to stop this saying, I don't do that anymore. I don't do this anymore. I don't do relationships. I don't do that. It's like, don't make those proclamations, you know what I mean? Because you're never going to do it.
Yep.
Like,
so
I would like that one
shit,
day.
Bitch.
Exactly.
So.
I had this talk in my therapy session. When I was younger, holding it all in was how I kept myself safe. But now, it doesn't work for me anymore because I'm in a separate place. So now I feel like I have to explode. So it's almost like you have to readjust.
Readjust where you are.
Yeah, based on like what you used to do might have worked for you in that time because you were in a panic state at that time and that's what really kept you safe.
Survival.
But now, you're not surviving anymore. Like now nobody's fucking bullying you. Now nobody's like fucking on your neck, you know, like fucking suppressing you. So like you have to understand that you have to like bloom basically. You need to like
it's time to live and not survive.
So is his quit that shit the same as yours?
Mine quit that shit for this.
Did mine make sense?
No, absolutely. It absolutely did. It absolutely did. Mine is like similar.
I would have thought Con was talking because of what she's going through.
But so mine is similar. Mine quit that shit is to not hold other people in a closed off space and then say that it's their fault. So like I don't say this.
Hallelujah. Thank
you. Almost like I shut myself off from Jules and then I go, okay, but like, you know, like I feel about this way, right? And then I realized that I'm like, oh, bitch, she didn't help you because you didn't ask her. Because you didn't let her in.
Pushing people away and saying you have no support.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's my quit that
shit.
And
then kind of giving like that when you don't like, you know, you're just like mad about it. You're like, they didn't even like, and then you kind of start.
Because
like,
Jules says this to me all the time. I can't read your mind. Yeah. In my mind. Mm-hmm. And this is a crazy fucking thing to say. But I do feel like I observe people so much to where I do read your mind. Yeah. I know what the fuck's going on in there. I know exactly how you're feeling without you telling me. Okay, anytime that you feel anything and you don't tell me,
it's my body language.
Know. It's not even just your body language. It's the way that you change up when you talk, the way that you change up when you text, even your fucking face. Like everything. I know, and it's not just you. Yeah. I know exactly everything, even if you don't say it to me or even if I don't say it to you. I know exactly everything. And that's why I have the mindset that people can't also look at me like that.
Yeah, but everybody can't.
No.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Some people are intuitive. Some people can walk in a room and just be like, I know I know the temperature in here, the wind's blowing this way because you spend so much time inside. That's what it is. People that spend that much time on the outside, like you said, you're always giving so much light. You walk in and your job is to bring the light into the room or whatever. Like, you're just there to make everything, you're not, you know what I mean? You're not taking the chance to like, you're not scanning the room for what's going on in people's brains.
Colin's like, I want to sit, I want to sit going back to the door. Like, I want to sit, like, so that's...
But that's why, but my quit that shit is to like, not necessarily like, let my guard down, but know who I can trust and fully do it. Like, fully do it. Like, just fucking let go.
Yeah. And people have lives. Jules has a whole other life. Exactly. That's my reason, too. It's like, I would push somebody away, and then be like, nobody supports me for anything. And it's like, obviously, I'm going through this. You should just know that I'm going through this thing. And it's just like, okay, but people are going through things also. Just because it's a big deal in your brain doesn't mean it's like breaking news for everybody else, which is another religion.
News. On the opposite end of that, because she is also going through her own life, sometimes I don't want to bring it on just because of that reason. But you gotta remember that like maybe bringing it up will give you both a venting session. Give you both like a little outlet.
Feel seen, feel heard.
Exactly.
Creating a safe space to get it out, regardless.
Exactly.
You can't.
Just trusting the connection.
Yep.
Exactly. What is you quitting, Shouty?
I'm not like reaching for the. I'm not like trying to play Addie up too much, but I'm like, I think the guys to come on here.
I want the guys to come on here.
The dynamic of y'all is just so similar to us, and I was like, I don't know,
I would love that.
These conversations that y'all talk about, but this is how we talk every day. Like,
but I think of you when I'm like bringing shit up with her. I'm like, Dawn sets up a time for this, bitch. You can do it. Like, you need to talk to her.
Yeah, like seriously. My quit that shit is. I mean, I've probably said this multiple times, but it's just to be a little bit nicer to myself. Be not nicer, be honest with myself. And I feel like I'm definitely doing a lot more of that. And being financially free is one of the most freeing things. And not having to. And I don't get me wrong. Like, it's not every day is rainbows and sunshines. Being a server, sometimes you can leave with $100. Sometimes you can leave with $400 or $500. You know what I mean? But it's like being grateful that I am so in tune with myself now that I can talk to myself and understand myself. So I just need to be a little bit more honest with myself, for sure.
Yes. I think we all can and should be honest with ourselves.
100%. Yeah.
Dude.
This has been such an amazing conversation.
You have no idea like the way that I felt yesterday and the way I feel right now in this moment, day and fucking night.
Yeah.
Today has been like literally the brightest that I have felt. Like, I can't remember the whole time. So it was perfect that it fell on this day. I think everything lines up. I felt really bad about rescheduling 700 times, guys. Sorry.
No, it happened.
Things were just kept happening, and it was a part of the craziness that was going on in my life.
Phones, okay?
It looks way more glamorous.
But alright, Don, tell the people where they can plug you in.
And what they can come to IDF for.
Right. So, yes, follow us, guys, the Independent Dream Factory. That's at Independent Dream Factory on all platforms. IndependentDreamFactory.com. You can follow all of our events we have coming up, as well as Studio Max. Come check us out. You can book us for photos, videos, all that good stuff, events, anything you want to do.
Podcasting.
Yeah. We did a vision board party at the IDF space, and it turned out fucking amazing.
I was gonna ask, I'm like, when is that happening again? Because that was like the best.
I'm trying to plan. I did invite you to the pie night, didn't I? And you're not here.
What's the date?
The next Saturday.
December 10th.
I mean, we were booked, but where's it?
It's a Saturday at 5 p.m. That's why I think that you're like busy.
We had a rap concert that day. That's not changed, but we have another concert. It's like same thing. The other time we had like a 2-day rap concert going on. I was booked up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, he's
so
looking busy.
He's
I can
a
make it work.
Businessman over here.
I can make it work.
I love that.
Anyways, lead down to you guys on all platforms. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
But we gotta talk more about. I want to know.
Absolutely, we fucking love you.
Oh,
And this
I love you
conversation
guys.
has been like so healing, and I feel very, 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 very lucky. Because no matter how lost I feel and no matter how much I'm actually struggling, the payoff is the connection that I get from this podcast. The payoff is how much work I've done on myself to be able to connect with other people, truly being transparent. Like literally the payoff is like this right here, the vibes.
Yeah.
Just it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So I just trust. I trust in my partners, in myself, in my dreams. I hope that you do too. And also I hope that you share this conversation with whoever you think could use this and apply it. I hope that we make you feel less alone when you're listening to us. I hope that we make you laugh. And we're very, very, very honored that you give us, any light of the day. You let us entertain you through your car rides and cleaning your houses and whatever. Thank you for starting every Monday with us. Thank you for sticking through a whole year of mental chillness.
500 followers on Instagram.
Exactly. And we're TikTok bitches now, yes.
Killing the game.
So it's just like such like progress and growth, but sometimes I'm so in the shit that I like feel so stuck. And then like things like this, I know. I'm like, we're good, baby, we're good. Expect mental chillness merch soon because that is something, that is the next step that I'm trying to work on. So, merchy. Yes! Your beanie's gonna say whatever.
Oh my god, guys, well, you know where to find us on Instagram at mentalchillness.podcast and on Facebook at Mental Chillness Podcast. And I am Lots of Jewels on Instagram.
I am Megacon on Instagram. Did you say TikTok? Mental Chillness 11.
TikTok. There we go.
And YouTube is Mental Chillness. Subscribe, fucking share this channel.
Like.
Yes.